If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option, as Sori says. 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VillageXchange. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed, and child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. We
are on a director stream for DJ Nick.
We're on a director stream.
And Hunter, just a quick... You said, oh, I only thought pastors and priests had the authority. Actually, when Jesus was here, he had his 12 disciples, right? They were fishermen. They were just regular folks. And he said that he was going to give them the power to baptize. He said, go out and baptize them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So that is not limited to the pastors and the priests, which, I mean, obviously, if you limit it to the pastors and preachers, then it's going to slow the movement down. It's like creating a funnel. But if everybody that's a Christian can share the message of Christ and can baptize people in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, then the movement can, obviously. So, yeah, it's not limited to just pastors and priests.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it.
All right.
Song numero.
Let's check it out. The Scorpions, The Zoo. Can I get that timestamp?
No, I'm not going to give you the timestamp.
Please, sir.
I would just do 240.
240. Okay.
Yeah.
The Scorpions, The Zoo. This is what our DJ has to say. The Zoo is the third single off the German hard rock band Scorpions' 7th album, Animal Magnetism, released in March of 1980. Guitarist Rudolf Schenker wrote the music during the band's first tour in 1979, first U.S. tour in 1979, and after vocalist Klaus Meine heard the main riff, it reminded him of a popular street in New York City that the band humorously referred to as Zoo.
All right.
Do you know what street that is?
No, we used to call it Brooklyn Zoo. Shame on you. All right, here we go. The Scorpions, The Zoo. Let's do this shit. Lyric video. Let's go. And Hunter, I am a priest. Sounds like I was not expecting this. Oh, that riff is crazy.
Coming into town. It sounds like one of those cowboy songs. Like a version of Cowboys from Hell. Not that it sounds the same, but the idea.
And hungry eyes are passing by on streets we call the zoo. We eat the night, we drink the shine, make your dreams come true. And hungry eyes are passing by on streets we call the zoo.
It just doesn't do it on our side.
Oh,
All right, that was the Scorpion. That is not the kind of, you know, the Scorpions were the ones that
That's
did
fun.
the WATCHALONGS song.
Oh, really?
You know that whistle?
no, babe, I don't know that
Listen
whistle.
to change.
Yeah, that part.
That's them.
Mm.
It's the same group. This band was the first metal band I'd ever heard of in my life.
Really?
It was funny. We're at the abused women's shelter in New York.
Okay.
And we stayed there so long that they enrolled us in school.
Man.
I remember at the shelter we were on had a backyard that was separated by a gate. And me and Jamie were playing some sort of ball game or something like that. And the ball went over the fence. And so there was this kid on the other side of the fence. I was like, yo, fam, give me that ball, bro. Well, we were in it was not a very nice part of town. It was pretty dumpy, and it smelled, there was like a river, and it smelled like raw sewage. So our ball fell into that river. He's like, yo, it's in the river. And I'm like, I told Jamie, I was like, yo, we out of here. He ain't going to do that shit. 2 minutes later, we see the ball go over the thing. He's like, there you go. Well, I started going to school. And sure enough, the same kid was on the bus. So me and him were like that.
Oh, that's cute.
And my older brother went to school, and he had his first dance.
Your brother?
My older brother, yeah.
Okay.
He had his first dance, and I remember us laying on the bed and talking, and he was like, it was a very important moment to him for some strange reason.
The dance was?
Yeah, it was his first one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the song that came out. Oh,
really?
That
this one?
Yeah, the Scorpion song. And like he just kept singing it and singing it. Like he was obsessed with that band and that song. That was the first metal song I'd ever heard in my life.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, like
I mean, this is a fun song. Like the concept.
Yeah.
Going to being in New York. And the fact that he's calling it the zoo, I mean, I don't know, maybe they I don't know if you would, well, I don't know.
If you call what?
Well, people that lived in Lewiston, Maine would call it the Dirty Lou.
Right.
So I was going to say, well, maybe if you don't like, that's not your place of origin, maybe that you wouldn't call it the zoo. Maybe you call it the zoo because it's like all crazy and you're not used to it.
The big thing about especially Manhattan, is that you'll hear people, New York is big, you know, blah, it's the biggest city. If you can make it there, you can make it everywhere. And they're right and wrong. New York is, especially Manhattan, is not a particularly big landmass at all. You can fit about, I don't know, 4 or 5 Manhattans just into Jacksonville, Florida. right? So like,
Wow.
yeah, it was kind of like that. It wasn't, you know, what people think it is, but a lot of New York has to do with the congestion, especially in Manhattan, because tourists go there 24/7. So it's always tourist season, and what happens is the tourists don't understand the rules of the game. Like, if you're in Manhattan, people got places to go, and you stop in the middle of the flow of traffic, dudes they're just gonna shove you out the way. They ain't gonna none of that shit. So like, you see, and it's always Asians, no disrespect, but you'd see them like taking pictures and shit, and everybody would just be bumping them. Dude drops his camera, nobody helps him, that type of thing.
I couldn't believe it. When I went to New York, I could not believe how rude people were.
The girl at the time I was with, she hated them people. So she'd swear at them, cuss at them, all type of shit. I'm like, yo, Sori, chill out, bro. Like, relax. She's like, oh, fuck, they're not even from here, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man. I'm like, that's the problem. They could do some crazy shit to us and then be on the plane and nobody knows the difference because we're in Manhattan. Chill out. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, that's real. When it talks about hungry eyes are passing by on the streets we call the zoo.
Yeah.
It really feels like that, man, because, like, everybody's hustling. And it's not just you're hungry because he's got a good, you know, lady on his side. People are fighting to survive in New York. That's one of the reasons why they'll shove you out of the way to get on that train. Because your job is contingent on you showing up on time.
It's not like having your own car in Maine where you're going to show up 5 minutes late. It's like you have to wait for the next bus.
You miss that next train, it's over with. That's why if you go down, I can always tell a real New Yorker is when they get on the subway and then they look down, they're looking for those lights. And there was no feeling like that in the world. Like when you're there and you see those lights coming, it's like, perfection. But yeah, like it definitely feels like a zoo, especially if you're some sort of celebrity. We were there anonymously, but if you're like a Sting or something like that, it must look like a zoo. Because on the one, it's a bi-directional zoo though. Because on the one hand, you as the individual, you're watching all these people. It's like, it's a crazy thing to behold. Manhattan is just a crazy thing to behold because everybody's there. It's like all over the place.
You know what? When I went, I felt exactly like I felt when I was like, we went to some theme park when I was like 3 or 4 years old. And I remember like being scared that I was going to lose my parents because the crowd got really like bustling. And like, it was the first time as an adult feeling like that. Like, I kind of get that feeling when we're at shows. I feel like I'm going to lose you and I'm never going to find you. It's weird how I, like that vibe or that feeling that I get. I feel like if we went to another show now, I wouldn't feel that way. But before COVID, when we would go, it was like, oh my gosh, it was so overwhelming, like so many people. But Manhattan was like that. Like, there was so many people. And I couldn't believe, like, in Maine, like, I don't think that it's even, like, I think that it's probably like this for everyone. Like, the men will open the door for the women and hold the door for you. That's like a regular thing. It's not even because there's anything special about you. It's just you're a woman, they're holding the door for you. It's just normal. And I couldn't believe in New York, they aren't doing that. Like, literally a door, like, hit me because I did not expect the man to just let the door go. And it was a friggin' heavy door. And my friend looked at me like, what? Why did you hold the door? And I said, how was I supposed to know he wasn't going to hold the door? She's like, why would he hold the door for you? I said, what are you talking? But that's when I realized, like, there is differences where you go, like, forget about it. But yeah, it was so busy. People were pushing.
Your livelihood depends on you being on that platform before those lights show up in the tunnel. I mean, that's just, and that's why, like, they'll do all type of horrible shit to you to get on the train. But once they're on the train, if you're pregnant, they'll give up your seat. If you're old, they'll give up their seat and tell you sit down. If they're smoking and they see a girl come in with a little baby, they'll put it out. My bad, miss. So, like, it's not all bad in New York. It's just once you clear that goal, then you can go back to being a human being. But everybody's so, you know, it's such a compacted area with so many people and so many competing hustles that are happening.
Yeah, agendas and stuff.
And so when he talks about the zoo, it's like a bi-directional zoo because he's from Europe, I'm assuming. So, like, seeing all these people the way it is, like, there's no analogy for it where he lives, so it's a zoo to him. But then he's famous, and he's got a beautiful woman on his side, so he is now the attraction from the people. So it's kind of like a bi-directional zoo, and it's a pretty crazy idea.
The other thing that was crazy about going was seeing like homeless people and like people in really bad situations, and those people didn't like. In Maine at the time, when you would see a homeless person, they were standing holding a sign.
Yep.
They weren't like sleeping on the road.
Yep.
And like in just covered in blankets or boxes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like just seeing people like just lined up like that, and everybody's just walking by like, here comes somebody in a super nice suit, or a lady dressed really nice with some really nice smelling perfume, and then it's like crossing over, but then here's like these homeless people that like you can tell they haven't had a place to shower in a long time. Like, it was just so weird, like seeing like you're right on top of each other, and it's like you don't. It was almost like even the homeless people weren't even seeing those people, and those people weren't. It's that NPC situation where everybody's like distance from each other. And I hear what you're saying about it's almost like the reverse. Like usually when stuff gets stuff goes from good to bad, and then that's when people get like vicious. But this is like it's already vicious, and then it goes calm when the doors close and they're on the. But the subway is so disgusting. I'm like, I was avoiding touching everything that I could touch, and still my hands had like a film on them. I was like, what is this film? And then like you're walking down the streets and like these horrid smells would like come at you. I was like, I just don't understand, because like a lot of my friends were like, New York, New York. It was like such this big thing, like New York, New York. And they couldn't wait to get there, couldn't wait to go. I couldn't wait to leave. I was like, this is a stressful city. I saw how stressed out everybody got. The girls that I was chilling with, like before going to the city, they were like more relaxed or whatever. But when they were headed to the city, it was like hair, nail, everything had to be on point. I was like, what is going on? Why is everybody fixing themselves up for this dingy little... Well, it's not a little city, but like...
It is a little city, landmass wise.
Well, yeah.
Manhattan is on a smaller end, but yeah, I mean, it's that's the problem, is that there's way too many people. There's the New York Stock Exchange, 42nd Street is crazy. It's a really good description. The zoo. I'm gonna give this one a solid 9.1.
Man, I remember like these hairstyles.
But these boys, give me that picture. These boys were walking around serious, like feeling like real badasses. Dressed like Star Trek. All right.
Dressed like Star Trek. Oh man, Nick, I'm so glad you added these pictures in. Look, bedazzled. Remember that? Oh, I don't know if you remember it. There was like a machine. It was called like a bedazzler or something. Oh my gosh, I thought that thing was the coolest thing. I wanted to bedazzle everything.
Hey, listen.
It's all these little...
Listen, y'all trying to tell me that this is not the picture of rock and roll greatness? I think my man right there got some lipstick on. I'm not mad at you, bro. Wear that lipstick, man. Just, you know, wear it with conviction, bro.
Do
That's
it.
all I'm
Do
saying.
it. Go for it. And what is that? That mustache. What was that called? The handlebar mustache or something like that?
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to you guys. Okay, so...
Hey, man, black people and Puerto Ricans don't live in zoos. Why are you being racist? Come on, man. That was almost as good as poor kids can do just as good as white kids. Shout out to Joe Biden. What do you get the song? I'm going to give this one a 9.4. Nah. I'm gonna give it an 8.9. What am I talking about? 8.9. I was really feeling this song. Especially, there was a really good riff in their idea at the beginning that I'm gonna re-listen to and steal and repackage, and nobody will know it because this is not one of their more famous songs, so I'll be able to get away with it. Go ahead.
I think I'm gonna match you on an 8.9.
Jet, the heck is that? You didn't like the picture?
Get you a man like that, Jet.
Can you imagine going to school, rocking that shit? I thought I was extremist back in the day for wearing a corn shirt and some nail polish. I was like, yeah, ain't nobody else in the Bronx doing this shit.
You should have done your bangs.
Meanwhile, all the kids at Bronx Science were walking around with shit like this.
Really?
All right, we will see you beautiful people on the other side of the break.